Hey y'all. So recently I was asked a question by one of the customers at the store I work at. And they asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which is kind of odd. I am a 22-year-old, so I feel like I'm kind of already there. But regardless, I answered his question. I said, oh, I'm thinking about being a meteorologist, but I've still got a lot of schooling before then. And he asked me, is that what you always wanted to be? And it got me thinking, and then it got me thinking more, just this question of what do you want to be when you grow up? And how it kind of is a trap, right? Like, bear with me. So, when you're asked that question as a kid, you have no idea what you're going to do when you're going to grow up. You don't have any knowledge of anything. When I was a kid, I wanted to be the president when I grew up. And while politics do still sound kind of interesting as a career path, it is definitely not something that I thought it was whenever I was a kid. You know, you have this dewy-eyed future, rose-colored glasses, all the different metaphors, but I had this idea of what I wanted to do, and as I grew up, that idea continued to change. But the issue is, so many people that ask you that question, well, when they ask you again and you change your mind, for one, there's the expectation of, oh, well, then you're not really committed to what you're asking. Well, no, I'm just a kid. I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. And then, God forbid, you say, I don't know what I want to do. I remember, and I'm not going to say which relative it was, but I had a relative growing up who asked me what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And, I was a bit older at this point, more in like ninth grade. I remember saying, oh, I don't really know. I'm still trying to like figure it out. Follow-up question was, well, do you want to go to college? And my answer was apparently not the right one, where I said, I don't know. I mean, if what I end up wanting to do isn't something that you need to go to college for, then I probably won't. Which was followed by a rather angry retort of, no, you're going to college. You're not going to throw your life away just because you don't know what to do yet. And at the time, that was both disheartening and kind of panic inducing. You try and figure out what you're supposed to do, but from a young age, you really don't know. You have no real idea of what the world's even like. And so trying to force this idea of, oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go to college for this. It's why it's so stupid that we let 18-year-olds decide, yes, I will take $100,000 of debt so that I can be a doctor, when that person has never stepped foot on the other side of a doctor's office, has no idea what it takes, and is just like aimlessly floating around saying, oh yes, I'm going to do this. That is a horrible idea. Why is this the system that we have? I swear it's like they're setting us up for failure. What they're actually doing is setting us up to spend more money on degrees that we don't use, and then have to continue going back to get different degrees that we might actually use once we figure out what it is we even want to be doing. That's like the actual reason, but I still think that this question of what do you want to be when you grow up is part of the problem. It reinforces the idea that you always have to know exactly what you're doing, and you can never not know. You have to be 100% sure of yourself all the time, or else you're failing. And trying things out, failure, it's all bad. You can't do it. Like, this is a stupid issue that shouldn't be happening. And all it would take is a few adjustments. Letting people do like a trial period in college, right? Yeah, you can still charge them money for that, but not thousands of dollars. Or having more shadowing programs available for different careers. I know if I had gotten the shadow for the first career I was going out for, which when I started college was a band director, I would have known, this is not for me. Instead, I wasted thousands of dollars trying to figure out if something wasn't for me, only to know midway through the first semester, but it was too late to unenroll in the classes, and so I was just trapped with it. How is that the most effective system that we have? And again, it's just so that these, higher institutions can get profit. Like, I get it. It's still frustrating. And I feel like we don't talk about it enough, that we kind of expect people to fail, but still demonize them for it when they do. like I know, my family has been really supportive over me changing my, my majors as many times as I had, but I have friends who feel like they're locked in place. They can't change. They're too far in. But like the sunk cost fallacy is that it's a fallacy. It's not real. You don't have to stick with something just because you said you would. You always have the ability to change, and failure is not the end. It's just a stepping off point. I've, you know, I've changed my major a lot, and at various different points I wanted to do various different things, but getting the chance to, try out what I want to do. I did real estate for about a year, thinking, this is going to be it. I'm going to enjoy this. It combines, the creative aspects of graphic design that I enjoy. I get to, use my business degree a little bit. I'm fairly charismatic, so, this will be easy. I get into it and I realize, oh, I hate this. I feel like I'm just scamming people out of all of their money when all it would take is for them to sit down, do the research, and they could do what I'm like making them pay me to do. If I hadn't done that, if I hadn't gotten to experience that failure and to know that, oh, this is not what I want it to be, and I had just been like, no, I can't quit now. I've put too much time into it. I've put too much effort. I feel like that would have done so much more damage, especially for my mental state. And not even like getting into the mental health aspect of this, because man, it's the worst feeling when you start something and then you change your mind and someone says, oh, well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. I got to figure it out. If I hadn't done that, then yes, it would have been a waste of time. But now I know that I don't want to do that. Like, there is no such thing as a waste of time. It's just using your time differently. I've used a lot of my time to figure out what I want to do. And this bringing us all back to that question. What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know. I have a good idea of it right now, and I've got some stuff I want to try, but at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 20 years. I don't even know where I'm going to be living in 20 years. So why do you expect me to know what I'm going to commit the entirety of the rest of my life to whenever I'm 18, 20, 22? I feel like as a whole, we have trapped ourselves in a system that makes it impossible to make mistakes, impossible to explore, and just impossible to figure out who we actually are going to be. I feel like a much better question would be, who do you want to be when you grow up? Doesn't that sound better? I want to be kind. I want to be the type of person that people look to and go, oh, he's got it figured out. I want to be the type of person that when someone's having an issue, they don't feel scared to come and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? That's who I want to be. And I feel like that is a much better question than what do you want to be when you grow up? Because we are not defined by the amount of product or the amount of value that we can put in the pockets of some shareholders. We're defined by whatever it is we decide we're defined by. And changing that mindset, changing that question, I think it's just the first step in a long series of steps that we need to take to make it easier for people to understand it's okay to make mistakes. You don't always have to be perfect, and you can always figure things out. Anyway, that got a little serious, but yeah, no, I just feel really strongly about that topic. I wanted to say thank you guys for, sticking around this long in the video, and thank you on the recent support on the videos. I've been really overwhelmed to see all the comments, the likes, people actually subscribing to this channel, and I don't know, it's been nice to see. So thank you guys. Anyway, see ya.